who am I? And furthermore, what do I want? What makes you itch? That's the most important investigation anyone can make. But you don't find this out until you investigate it. So I always ask the question, what would you like to do if money were no object? How would you really enjoy spending your life? Because if you say that money is the most important thing, you will spend your life completely wasting your time. Forget the money. After all, if you do really like what you're doing, you can eventually become a master of it. And then you'll be able to get a good fee for whatever it is. Therefore, it's so important to consider this question. What do I desire?
Hey, you gonna do this or what? You gotta do it. And keep doing it. Do it big. Bigger. Hit it. Step it up. Always take the risk. Don't just watch it. Put your phone down and do it. Drip splash like the ice on the wrist. That's a call I can't miss. Set my goals like a goal. Hit the switch. Work. Check it off the checklist. In a position to win. In a position to go. In a position to win. Do it with one hand behind your back.
One now.
Do it blindfolded.
Next.
Do it your endorsement deal. Say you shouldn't.
Section 43C, no rope swing over canyon dunks.
Like what's happening? Do what they say you can't.
Can you?
Because there are those who don't and those who do. Yes, sir. Let's do.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Orem, Utah, the campus of Utah Valley University for today's matchup between the visiting Anteaters of UC Irvine and the home team, the Utah Valley Wolverines, alongside Thomas Loomis. I'm Brandon Crow. Thank you for joining us on this Monday Night Football on UVU TV, the Wax Sports Digital Network, KSL TV app, as well as streaming on YouTube. Utah Valley, as we see it, going from left to right, and you see it in their home whites with the green trim, and the Anteaters from UC Irvine with the blue and the gray going from the right to the left. Your starting lineup for the UC Irvine Anteaters: Ford Parker, Victor Falk, Jelani Ambrose, Alvaro Quesada, Lawrence Yamaguchi, Carlos Becerra Gomez, Luca Mastrantonio, Michael Orozco, Beto Alvarenga, Guabena Boateng, and Eder Olivier.
And for the Utah Valley Wolverines, Luis Vargas is going to start out wide with Al Felix in the middle, Mark Brown at the left back, and Big Blake Frischnick up top at the 9 position, Jaden Wagner playing the left back, Zach Moss alongside at that wide right position, Ahmed Longmire at the center back, Caleb White holding down the middle alongside Aaron Meyer, Sterling Pennison John getting a start tonight after Aaron Caprio went down a week ago with an AC joint sprain, and Mitch Jensen starting in goal tonight.
You mentioned Caprio. It's one of those guys who just seems to can't catch a break.
Yeah, a little unlucky the past couple years, and he's one of those guys that is so physical, and so he almost brings those moments upon himself because he's just sacrificing his body every single moment for the team. So winning again on a hard tackle against Cal State Northridge. And in that tackle, unfortunately, came away with that AC sprain. Talked to him a little bit before the game, and he's optimistic that he'll be back next week. Fortunately, it's just going to be a couple-week sit out to where he can have that heal, but he should be back right away with the Wolverines.
Expect to see some goals tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Utah Valley's been putting up some goals lately, as well as UC Irvine. Last year, when these two teams met here, 2-1 was the score, and coming into this one, UC Irvine's record might not necessarily reflect a lot of goal scoring, but as we talked about pregame, Thomas, UC Irvine has taken on the number 4 team in Stanford and the number 16 in Georgetown, only lost to them by 1 goal.
Yeah, with the 3 losses that they've had, they've been in every single match. And arguably, you could say that they've had the toughest schedule in the country thus far. And so that strength of schedule just shows that they've been in every single game. And those losses, you know, they don't mean much because they are a force to be reckoned with. They're going to be a tough team to deal with tonight. As you see that they've had possession almost the entire first few minutes of the game. So it's going to be a testing match for the Wolverines.
UC Irvine, like you said, with the possession now, trying to switch up the field. Trying to work it. Tried to find a through ball toward that top of the box. Goes all the way back for a goal kick. Still fairly early on in the season. Utah Valley trying to work out some pre-conference, jitters, I guess you could say. But they always seem to find their pace, and they always seem to find comfort playing here at Clyde.
Yeah, for sure. They have had a little bit of a struggle to find some rhythm in the first few matches. A couple games like against Northridge that they clean up a couple mistakes. Completely different game, and that doesn't go to a double overtime and a tie. They probably come away with a win. There were moments in the Canisius game that if they score early, it's a totally different game, I think, as well, that the Canisius doesn't stay in it as much. So if these guys can be organized defensively tonight, I think they'll put up a game against the Anteaters this evening. So they've got to stay organized, and if they can develop a rhythm, have a little bit more possession than they've had thus far, then they can compete against this team.
It's a beautiful day for some soccer. Game time temperature about 84 degrees. Winds coming in from the south about 5-6 miles an hour. Absolute perfect day to get out there and kick it around. And Utah Valley trying to maintain some possession in Anteater territory. And this one will be kicked out of play. Be an Irvine throw.
You've seen from the get-go, the UC Irvine coach is demanding high pressure. If they don't have the ball, they're putting the Wolverines under pressure, having numbers flying in. So that'll be a test for the Wolverines if they can keep it and play out of the back, or if they're going to be forced to go a little bit more direct than they normally would.
There was an early opportunity there by Oliva. Coming up just shy, trying to get the volley.
Good cross in by the Anteaters, and UVU fortunate that they didn't hit that cleanly, or that could have been a little bit more challenging for Mitch Jensen.
Mitch Jensen behind the wickets, 6'1", 175 of them. He sets up, sends a boomer past the midfield stripe, headed down, intended target, Frischneck. And Irvine again comes away with possession, trying to string together some easy passes to get that rhythm, and that's not what they intended. Takeaway by the Wolverines. And nobody home in the box. Maybe a mistouch from the outside.
Yeah, I think he looked to hit that a little bit more far post, away from the goalkeeper, let Zach Moss try and get underneath it, but just mishit that one a little bit.
Now Utah Valley starting to apply a little bit more pressure for Parker.
Great work there by Luis Vargas and the crew, really stepping up, putting some high pressure, allowed Vargas to fly in there. Nice sliding tackle as the keeper a little slow to get that one out and away. So fortunate that angle just took it out of bounds rather than towards the goal.
Solid defense on this side by Ahmed Longmire. It's the first of a doubleheader tonight here at Clyde Field. The women's soccer team take on crosstown, cross-road rival, nationally ranked BYU. Coming up after this. Another clearance in the skies. Headed down by the Anteaters. And Longmire there to regain possession as he looks to go upfield. Frischneck Trying to get to the ball. Good composure by the Anteaters there.
Yeah, you can tell that all these players are very, very technically sound. They like to play in tight spaces and keep the ball on the ground. You're not going to see a lot of direct play until maybe that final third where they put crosses into the box. But very, very technical and good team.
This one booted well out of play as we see the pressure amped up just a little bit more by the Anteaters.
Yeah, that one might be going into the freeway right now.
Freeway not that far away. And with the power and legs of these men's athletes, I wouldn't be surprised. Hopefully we don't hear any breaks or screeches in the distance. Orozco will do the throw-in honors for the Anteaters. Orozco, the Quesada. This one kicked out of play. Orozco goes inside the box. Anteaters posting up. Orozco comes all the way back, gets it. Cleared out. Still Irvine ball. Orozco switches it up. Becerra Gomez. Alvarenga. Now back to Orozco. Back to Alvarenga. Back to Falk. Slicing and dicing his way with a shot. Right at Mitch Jensen. But you can see the quick pace and power from that Anteater line.
Yeah, very, very good hit by Carlos as he receives the ball with a lot of space in the middle. Takes the touch up towards the 18 and really hits that one with pace. Just unfortunate that it's not a few feet wide of Mitch Jensen there to test him, really. But good chance there for Irvine, really first chance of the game thus far.
The only shot registered on goal for either team so far. 10th minute in Clyde Field in Orem, Utah. Wolverines taking on the Anteaters from UC Irvine. Oliva laying it off for Falk. Falk switching up the field now. Really hard touch. Still corrals it, however. Places it back. Becerra Gomez sends it in. Longmire heads it away. Still in a dangerous territory, however. Referee says get up. No foul call. Master Antonio. And that solid defensive back. Now weaving their way toward that Utah Valley side. Orozco again for the Irvine Anteaters. The left boot towards the top of the box. Up in the air. Still up in the air. Finally cleared away by the Wolverines. Frischneck still trying to find his rhythm. He's trying to post up on these defenders like a center in the key.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he does very well with that, with his big body to get physical and usually bring those down. But, yeah, the positioning of these center backs have been really, really good so far. And a couple difficult balls that are, out of the air like that, it's going to be tough to bring down control. So if he can bring it down and really establish himself as a presence early, could really help the Wolverines.
Jensen's clearance didn't go as far as he would like. And the Anteaters still applying early pressure.
It's been all Irvine the first 12 minutes as Zach Moss steps up, tries to win it. But, they deal with the pressure very, very well. UVU is going to be forced to sit in as here's a chance.
There's a slide pass. Jensen comes out to make the stop. Ball still bouncing around in the box, and a whistle is blown. And they're going to call this a foul against the Anteaters.
Yeah,
Bodies
maybe a little
on the
fortunate
floor
there for the Wolverines. Kind of a 50-50 tackle. And Anteaters want it the other way, or maybe just a no call as they had a shot just go wide on frame. But, yeah, this is going to be a very, very tough challenge for the Wolverines, especially if the Anteaters keep the possession as they have, because they're so good on the ball that, they can break down a team so easy. They move it so well. Make you look like cones almost at times. So Wolverines are going to have to sit in and be very, very organized defensively. Once they win the ball, they can't give it away and back to the Anteaters right away. They have to do a better job of opening up, stretching the Anteaters a little bit, and having some composure and keeping the ball.
Quesada, the Anteater, shaken up, receives a good sportsmanship pat on the stomach from Jensen. He limps his way toward that center circle. Big booming kick. Jensen headed up in the air by Frischneck. That might be his first official touch. Felix. And Zach Moss slipping on the turf. As Utah Valley's trying to find their offensive rhythm. Again, Irvine switching up the pitch. Both teams come into this match after victories. There's an opportunity for Utah Valley. Irvine was victorious in Omaha against Creighton. And Utah Valley victorious here at home on Friday against Canisius. Whistle's called. They're going to call this one against Utah Valley on the far side. Free kick for the Anteaters.
Interesting decision there by the referee, or we've seen maybe a couple that have been a little bit more strong than that, but might be positioning on the field too. Feels a little bit more comfortable, make that call midfield rather than in around the box.
Brad Jensen, the head referee today in today's match. And Irvine streaking down the left-hand side. Oliva cuts back. Now toward the box. Quesada. Cleared away by Utah Valley. Quarter of an hour now passed in the match. Still 0-0. One official shot on goal for the Anteaters. Quesada all alone in the circle. Good disruption by the Wolverines. Quickly taken right back by the Anteaters. Another whistle called against Utah Valley.
These guys like to play quick. I don't know if you're going to see too many direct balls because they're attackers. Not the tallest group, but very, very quick and good with their feet. These guys are going to keep the ball on the ground and really move it on you. So look to see that from the Anteaters the rest of the game. They have their back line. They're going to be big and tall and difficult for Blake Frischneck to deal with, but the rest of the group, really, really quick, athletic bunch.
Nice inside-out pass from Frischneck to Brown. Brown looking for Felix. Down the far side. Swung in toward the box. Looking for Frischneck. Just barely missed him in the box. Zach Moss swings it back to Brown. Brown back to Moss. Moss sets up. Swings this one in towards that back post. And that thing caught a lot of wind and just kept carrying.
Yeah, it's a good idea. You've seen both times that the Wolverines have elected to play that early ball into the mix. They have a taller group of guys that can really get up and challenge in the air, so they're going to be a little bit more direct than the Anteaters, but yeah, just a little heavy from Zach Moss as that goes too far back post.
Anteaters trying to string together an offensive attack. They like to play it back. Gomez. Nice pass toward that end line, swung in, and Brown kicks it away. Quesada was lurking behind Brown. And a corner kick for the Anteaters.
The vision of Irvine is so good. You watch as they're pretty patient along the back line, and then they'll have a streaking outside wing cut in, or someone find the ball, which creates these chances.
Eder Oliva will do the honors from the corner. This one swung in, punched away by Jensen. Gomez swings this one back, chested down rather by the Wolverines. A little bit of hesitation on that corner kick. Oliva was taking his time, a little bit too much time, according to his coaches. They were screaming, "Kick it, what are you doing?" Utah Valley, the beneficiary. Jensen trying to find Brown. Somehow was able to keep that in play. I thought initially that thing was going to go over our tent, but now here comes the Anteaters on their horse, and this one's going to go out past the byline.
Yeah, Mitch Jensen wanted that one back, kind of sliced that as it was going out of bounds, but Mark Brown does a good job of keeping it in bounds. Again, though, they get out of pressure, and they cannot stay composed and keep the ball. It's difficult on the sideline when you got a guy right on you, but the Wolverines have got to do a better job of keeping possession of the ball. They're being forced after 3 passes along their back line to send it forward every single time, and the Anteaters win it back and are able to just keep on adding the pressure and going forward with numbers against the Wolverines.
Speaking of numbers, there's Orozco. Orozco's pass deflected momentarily by Utah Valley. There's a shot toward Jensen, and in the back of the net, Eder Oliva strikes first for the Anteaters in the 19th minute.
As 15 came forward, he takes that shot on goal, takes a deflection, and Oliva, what a beautiful crafty touch as he megs the defender and then smashes it home at that right back post. So absolutely beautiful touch and finish by Oliva to have the first goal of the match.
That puts the Wolverines in a position which they are not very comfortable with at home, coming from behind.
Yeah, you know, an early goal is so crucial in this game, and it sets you up for, you know, the game to be open up. You're going to have a lot more time on the ball usually in the middle of the field, you know, and hopefully this will add a little bit more anxiety, a little bit more pressure for the Wolverines to force themselves to get forward a little bit more.
Some urgency.
Exactly. The urgency is needed because they're not going to be able to sit in as much as they may have liked before.
And Frischknecht kicks this one out of play, deflected off of UCI. It'll be a corner kick. And here's an opportunity for the Wolverines to try and claw their way back into this one. That goal was Oliva's first of the season for the Anteaters in that 19th minute. Moss sent this one toward that back post. Cradled very easily by Ford Parker.
Yeah, that ball needs to be placed a little bit farther out than the goalkeeper can get his hands to it. Nearly over him, but his long body does a nice job of corralling that in. But Zach Moss has got to put that away so that, you know, he allows his players to be able to test the goalkeeper and get their head on it.
As if the swagger wasn't already apparent by the UC Irvine Anteaters before the goal. Now they are adding just a little bit more against the Wolverines here, as that one is kicked out of play. Utah Valley will have a throw in on the far side. Like you said, it'll be interesting to see how the Wolverines respond with this urgency. And it's important for them not to get too panicked too quickly.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's going to be the key for these guys if they can stay composed and still try to play their game and keep more of the ball rather than being forced to play direct and give it right back to the opposition every single time.
We see that quickness from the Anteaters very present. And this whistle will go against the Anteaters, much to the dismay of their bench.
Yeah, because Vargas, you know, he does a great job and is a really, really quick player. Cuts up, makes a good move, gets past one, but they're able to readjust and get right back in position right after they get beat. You know, whereas you do that against some teams that maybe don't have the overall quickness that this team has, and you're in behind and you have more space and opportunity going forward. These guys are so athletic and quick that it's going to be difficult to break down. But yeah, that goal adds confidence to the Anteaters. They've played such a tough schedule that, you know, I don't think this is too out of their league as far as a challenge whatsoever. And so they're going to play their game no matter what the opposition looks like, no matter what UVU throws at them. These guys are going to keep the ball on the ground, move it very, very quickly, and stay super composed when you've got 2-3 guys on you.
Just another day at the office for the Anteaters. And here they come knocking on the door again. Quesada trying to kick this one into the box. This one deflected out of play off of Peniston John. And another dangerous set-piece opportunity for the Anteaters to add a double. The last corner kick was punched away by Jensen. Just about the same spot where he's standing. And the goal scorer, Oliva, is at the corner with Quesada to his right. Elects to go short to Quesada. Nice back heel flick. Quesada in the box. That one just barely missed. That was a rifle. And shanked off the shoulder of the Anteaters.
Again, they're so good on the ground and in tight spaces. They go short from the corner, have 2 on the ball and a 3. Third player, I should say, flies into the near post. A nice little play in back heel. Has a cross cut back onto the 6, and that header just goes over the crossbar. Another great opportunity for the Anteaters.
Lawrence Yamaguchi, the intended target on that near post, looking for his first goal in the season. But now Blake Frischnecht in Utah Valley still struggling to find that possession because the Anteaters in their blue and gray jerseys come attacking again. Eder Olivia trying to find that back head flick to Yamaguchi. Now Brown. And strong presence from Quesada is rewarded a whistle. Be a free kick.
Yeah, as that ball swung to Mark Brown, he's looking for options instead of just having to boom it forward and get rid of it. And the Irvine such a good job of sliding quickly to get in position. Mark Brown has no option to just try and beat him with his feet and draws the foul.
Yamaguchi falls down. Referee says play on. Wolverines trying to gain a little advantage here. Frischnecht in the center circle. Wagner. Dispossessed again by the Anteaters. And a couple substitutions ready for the Anteaters at the next opportunity. '26th minute here in Orem, Utah. If you're just now joining us, UC Irvine on top. After a goal in the 19th minute by that man right there, Eder Olivier. Oliva has been everywhere for the Anteaters. They're going to swing this one toward that back. Brown gets to it, lets it go out of play. And the 2 sets of fresh legs for the Anteaters coming in, Jose Ortiz and Roberto Molina. And they'll come in for Eder Oliva and Alvaro Quesada. Probably 2 of the most active players that we've been calling names for in the early on in this first half.
Yeah, well-deserving rest, and they throw on 2 fresh legs that are going to test the defense once again. And you watch as that cross came in, the Irvine coach, Coach Yossi Ras, is frustrated when that cross goes into nobody. He wants them to swing that ball across the back line. So it shows the coaching that he puts on these guys, that he knows that rather than, putting in a hopeful ball and maybe something happens, he wants these guys to keep the ball on the ground and elect to beat these guys on the ground.
That one goes out of play. Quickly thrown right back into Wolverines. Yamaguchi now for the Anteaters. Anteaters would like to switch it up. They're trying to counter and put those two sets of fresh legs to work. And now this one is taken away by Utah Valley. Here's Frischnecht at the top of the box. Frischnecht still with it, into the box now. There's a shot deflected by Utah Valley. Ball still bouncing around. Ultimately corralled by Parker. That was dangerous there for a second.
Yeah, probably the best opportunity, only opportunity for the Wolverines this half. Bad giveaway at the top of the box. Frischnecht trying to get around it. Falls to Luis Vargas, takes a shot on goal, and it's bouncing around. The Irvine goalkeeper really fortunate to be able to get his hands on that and stop from what probably should have been a goal by the Wolverines, and an awesome opportunity to try and get back in this game.
Now the Anteaters, again, back in Utah Valley territory. Place they've been almost paying rent to here in this first half.
In these games, Brandon, when you win the ball and it's an error or a giveaway by the other team, in this type of game where it's so hard to actually break them down, you got to take advantage of those opportunities, and that's just a missed one by Utah Valley.
Got to capitalize.
Absolutely.
Foul is called against Utah Valley, be a free kick. Guilty party, Pendleton John. Referee reaches in the back pocket, grabs the magical spray, marks his territory, and UC Irvine quickly gets on the way, and a little bit too quickly. Brad Jensen, the head referee, says, wait till I'm ready. Gomez kicks it back. And this one deflected off of Utah Valley, stays in Anteater possession. Again, 29th minute, we're flirting with the half-hour mark of the match. And 4 new Wolverines will take the pitch. Vasquez, Garza, Pena, and Fuchs. Frischnecht will take a break. Vargas will take a break as well. Zach Moss comes off. Aaron Meyer checks off, and then coming off for the Anteaters is Yamaguchi and Beto Alvarenga.
Yeah, you could tell from the faces Myers, he came off just utter frustration. He's such a talented player that when the group around him cannot figure out a way to keep possession, it absolutely frustrates him to no end. You hope that he can maybe settle the game down as he will sub in later or no doubt start the second half. And they'll talk about it and try to regroup at half and figure out a way that they can make adjustments. And that'll be key. If they can't adjust, then I don't see a way that they could get back in this game. But if they can adjust and have more possession to where they actually create some chances and not just playing defense the whole time, because to play defense against a team like this is going to be absolutely tiring. You know, to just be on the other end, defending the goal for your life is just such a tough situation and circumstance to be in. As those type of touches, Garza, or Vargas, I should say, Zaire Vasquez, if I get the name right, has just got to keep that.
It's one of the three.
Yeah, one of the three. Similar outside wings here at the 11 position.
Orozco. Ortiz. This one goes out of play. And Ortiz will throw it in for the Irvine Anteaters. Irvine penetrates. Goes toward that end line. This one deflected. Last touch by the Anteaters would be a goal kick from Mitch Jensen. And going back to that last point, if you cannot adjust, if you're Coach Moss and this team, I mean, probably not the last time we're going to see a big group of substitutions going in there.
No, yeah, I think you're right. I mean, he's got his core guys that he trusts and has confidence in, I mean, honestly, we haven't seen many other subs than those group of 4 all season. But you're right. He might look for other options that, need to change this game and may add a different look or just a different mentality and attitude. So, yeah, we'll see what he elects to go with at the half. I would assume that he'll start the starting 11 that came into the game. But if they can't adjust, then maybe there'll be different subs that we haven't seen this year.
Leo Fuchs kicks his ball off of the Anteaters in the far corner, wins a corner kick. The first official corner kick for the Wolverines. I beg your pardon. The referee initially signaled corner. Instead, it's going to be a throw. And a long throw at that. Toward that top of the box. Headed up in the air. Touchdown in Wolverine possession now. Brown splits the defense. Stays with Utah Valley possession as Coach Greg Moss for the Wolverines applauds his team in approval.
Again, White will have this long throw. You mix it up as a corner, but it's almost basically the same thing as he's able to gun it in there so well, and they go short.
Go short to Brown, swinging toward that back post. Headed down in front of the keeper and right at Ford Parker. One of the best build-ups so far for Utah Valley. Just nobody home to put it in.
Yeah, exactly. UVU, as they have been, for most of the time that they've been a program, they're very good in the air, very good at set pieces. So good job to where UC Irvine knows that ball is probably going to be a long throw. They all sit in the box. UVU recognizes that and has Mark Brown check short. Puts a nice ball into the back post. Alec Felix does a great job putting it back in the mix on the 6, but just no one there, unfortunately.
Utah Valley starting to mix it up here more offensively. More of those fresh legs connecting passes. Felix, now to Brown on the near side. Brown has some white shirts toward that top of the box. Play back to Felix. Surveys, goes down to Brown. Swinging toward the box. Utah Valley wants handball. Looked like it went off the rib cage. Anteaters again switch it up on the left-hand side of the pitch. Dispossessed.
Finally, the best bit of possession that UVU's had all night long. I think before that, you've had a maximum of maybe 4 passes connected. These guys are moving the ball well, and it's forcing, more opportunities and more space to play with. They're playing finally through the middle, connecting the passes that they need to. I think the difference, too, Coach Yossi subbed in 2 of their center mids, and that might have been the difference to where those 2 guys have been so solid in the middle of at least keeping the ball for their team. The gold standard for Irvine of keeping the ball, and defensively too, probably very, very organized, and that might be the slight difference, and with some fresh legs for UVU, that's helped.
Adler dancing around with the ball, being pestered by that Utah Valley defense. Now Orozco trying to chip this one through towards that corner of the box. Now down to Falk. Plays it all the way back to Boateng. Master Antonio. Orozco again. Toward the top of the key. Longmire switches up the field. And a foul called against UC Irvine. Roberto Molina is all over Jaden Wagner on that left-hand side. .36th minute here at Clyde Field in Orem, Utah, on the campus of Utah Valley University. Thank you for joining us, for letting us be a part of your Monday evening, late afternoon in California, for those watching. Anteaters on top, 1-0, courtesy of a Eder Oliva goal in the 19th minute. Right out of the gate, Anteaters dominated possession. Here's a through ball, trying to find Fuchs. And Parker comes up with the save. He's going to take his time getting up. Holding his right shoulder, it looks like.
Yeah, or his face. I know the 50-50 tackle, and Fuchs may have got a little bit of him trying to poke that ball through.
Referee's talking to Ford Parker, graduate senior, 6'2", 170-foot-pounder from Albuquerque, New Mexico, a transfer from the University of New Mexico. And the good thing that we see is he's up on his own. Leo Fuchs comes in, gives him some daps. And Parker will take his time with the goal kick, giving his teammates a well-needed rest to try and catch up with that Utah Valley pressure, I presume. Utah Valley says thank you for that errant pass. Brown. Longmire. This one taken down from the air by Falk. Adler now dispossessed by Utah Valley. Trying to find White. And again, the Anteaters just seeming to beat Utah Valley to almost every other ball.
Yeah, you know, Pena's been a good sub for the Wolverines, coming in and stealing the ball here and there. It's kind of gone back and forth the last couple of minutes. Mark Brown has got options. He's got Alec Felix in the middle. If he decides to play quickly, that hesitation is all it takes for Irvine to get in position, and you're going to be forced to try and just clip that forward and hope that your teammates can bring it down and then, again, get on the ground and play. So the rhythm for the Wolverines has not been that impressive in this first half.
Caleb White steps off for the Wolverines. McKay Eves checks on. A little over 5 minutes left to play in this first frame. UC Irvine again trying to knock on the door and again added another goal before that break. Penetration in the box, stuffed away by Peniston John.
Yeah, quick player running at him. Peniston John does a nice job getting his body in position, being able to shield that out of bounds. So those one-on-ones are difficult against a technical team like this. Can be so dangerous in and around the box with their feet.
It's interesting how you noted the Utah Valley players coming off the pitch a little while ago, and you can tell they're visibly frustrated. Looking at the players on the pitch right now, you can see UC Irvine, nobody's really hunched over or anything at all, but Utah Valley, especially their back line, you got a couple players who are huffing and puffing right now trying to keep up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's, as I said before, so hard mentally to have to play defense for 45 minutes, and it's tiring because, you know, offensively, you're able to get in position usually, keep the ball, make your adjustments and your runs here and there. But defensively, you have to be on guard and focus on someone's back every single second, or else you will get beat, you will be exposed. So it's a tiring game if you can't try and be somewhat offensive and keep possession of the ball.
Here's Utah Valley now with the spurt of offensive possession. Play this one back to Brown. Brown surveys. Chips went in toward the spot, headed up and away by the Irvine Anteaters. Kept in play by Orozco. Orozco now to Gomez. Gomez looking for some help. This one, Chips still in play. And this one is going to go in favor of Utah Valley. Brown doing a good job to win that with his body. Gets it back. Eves.
You know, I've seen it a few different times. They do a good job keep possession here. But if I'm Alec Felix, I'm a little frustrated with my team that once the ball's thrown in, get it to me quickly. Get it to my feet so that I can look to go to the other side where there's so much more space and where Irvine has really put them in a compact position and makes it so difficult to play through.
Here's Leo Fuchs now for Utah Valley. Swings this one into the box, kicked away by the Anteaters. Longmire heading it up into the air. Eves and company trying to come win this one away for Utah Valley, and they do. Jensen calling for it. Longmire dances around a couple defenders, and Eves with lots of space gives it to Felix, who switches it back up to Peniston John on the left side. 42nd minute, about to be the 43rd. Utah Valley would love to get an equalizer before the break. Anteaters doing everything they can to stop that, as they take that one away from Utah Valley. Play this one back to Parker. This one shipped upfield and out of play. It'd be a Utah Valley throw in right in front of their own bench. Longmire chips this one to Brown. Quick throw in, referee blows the whistle. They're going to want this one to come all the way back. That's a solid 15, 20 yards difference there. And now Brown, frustrated, instead of going forward, goes backward to Longmire and now plays it all the way back to Jensen. .44th minute. Inside out swing for the Anteaters. Brown momentarily had it, now penetration by the Anteaters in the box. Taken away on the defensive side by Utah Valley, kicked up field. There's a battle for position. Leo Fuchs wins that one. Beautiful ball. And a collision by two Anteaters. Leo Fuchs' searching ball, thought was going to go through. Referee's going to call time to stop at 43-32.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea there. If that's hit with a little bit more pace, it is through. So just unfortunate that he couldn't get a little bit more leg power behind that. But good opportunity there by the Wolverines. Hopefully the Anteater player is okay. Was a decent collision, knee to knee there, and something you don't like to see.
Trying to get a number on it and to see what player it is that is down. I believe that is Luca Mastrantonio, being tended to by the trainers.
The UC Irvine coach the past few minutes has been demanding his players forward passes is what he's screaming out. They do a great job of keeping the ball and have had probably 90% possession this half, but there's only been, 2-3 chances on frame. So it's one thing to keep possession of the ball. It's another to be, moving that in a way that is going to give you opportunities on frame, to have possession with a purpose. And so that's what he's wanting from his team. He sees that, okay, we're moving the ball well. It finds our guys in the middle with our 10. He has then got to be able to find which guy is open to play forward and take the space to be, deceptive and dangerous going forward rather than just keeping the ball. And they've got to do a better job of that to really punish the Wolverines for the possession that they've had this half.
Which is really what they were doing for about the first 10, 15 minutes of this match.
Right.
And you could definitely see the results on the pitch as Utah Valley was on their heels. And then when Utah Valley was able to collect themselves, then they were able to kind of even it out. But I think what you mentioned earlier, the whole switch was switching out those two mids.
There's been a big difference since that moment, I think. So, they might be able to bring that back into the second half here. But, yeah, he's been a little frustrated with his team that, they've had great possession, but there hasn't been enough opportunities on frame.
So substitution has been made for the final minute and a half in the first half. Luca Mastrantonio will step off. Seamus McLaughlin from Folsom, California checks on. Utah Valley again with that two-handed throw. Felix. Leo Fuchs. Still kept in play by the Wolverines. Felix does well to win that with his body. Gets good position. Final minute of the first frame. Fuchs, too hard of a touch, tries to win it back. He does. But being pestered by that Anteater defense, still in Utah Valley possession. 45 seconds left to play in the first half. This one swung in. Errantly kicked around by the Anteaters before ultimately pushed all the way back deep into Utah Valley territory by Longmire. And Longmire with about 30 seconds left. Just going to try and keep the UC Irvine Anteaters away from any dangerous possibilities. "15 seconds left. Here comes Utah Valley. This one swinging toward the top of the box. Still on the ground. 10 seconds left. Leo Fuchs is going to lay this one off down toward the byline. Kicked out of play. Still in play, however. There's an opportunity. Snuck in toward the corner and saved at the last second by Ford Parker. Another dangerous opportunity and build-up by the Wolverines. Just a little unlucky.
Yeah, one of the two chances Wolverines have had all half. Do a good job of getting that forward with only 30 seconds left in the half. Gets crossed in, deflected. A nice poke through to the byline. Cuts it back, and Felix does a great job of then spinning and putting that on the 6 for a shot on frame. Good save there by the goalkeeper. Not a lot of space to maybe put that in. Would have been difficult, but good chance nonetheless. So you see the frustration from Irvine, too, with 30 seconds. Sit in, be a little bit more organized, and that ball forward, don't let them bring it down so easily. You can see the frustration that they brought it down without a lot of pressure on them. So you'll see a few adjustments like that from Irvine, I think, as they go into half here. And there needs to be more adjustments made by UVU to keep better possession. How do we get forward? Where does the spacing need to be? How can we break lines to do so? And we'll see if they can make those changes or not.
Well, we'll take a break. It is halftime. Utah Valley trails 1-0, courtesy of an Eder Oliva goal in the 19th. We'll take a break and be right back.
How does Costa Vida create the ultimate sweet pork burrito? We start by following our award-winning recipe, one that calls for everything to be made fresh, from scratch every day. Like our beautifully braised pork, seasoned beans, savory sauces, and delicious cilantro lime rice. Even our tortillas are cooked to order. It's a difference you can taste. Treat yourself to the ultimate sweet pork burrito, only at Costa Vida.
If we can see things for what they are. If we can see what they could be. If the plastic we use, we never throw away. If the end of one thing could be the beginning of the next. If we know that less can create more. If we can return, we reciprocate, we regenerate. If we are here for others, if we can work as a team, all we have to do is connect, and the world opens up. The future is about giving back.
To national championships runs through NCAA.com and the NCAA Sports app. And whether you follow one college team or all of them, it's never been easier to get the content you want all in one place. With live broadcasts of multiple championships across all divisions. With exclusive access.
Ready to go?
And highlights for every single championship. Stay in the game all season long with NCAA.com and the NCAA Sports app.
What's the difference between buying from Murdoch and buying from somebody else? In a word, confidence. You'll love our price match guarantee, our 5-day exchange policy,
and don't forget car washes and safety inspections for life.
If you need a new vehicle, consider Murdoch Hyundai. I promise you'll love it.
Thinking of buying a home? Think bigger. Because with UCCU's low interest rates and low mortgage insurance rates, you could qualify for more house with the same payment you could get from other local lenders. A mortgage with UCCU gives you more purchase power. That means more money you can put into your home or back into your pocket. To learn more, visit uccu.com/morehouse or stop by any UCCU branch today. More house, same payment. Only at UCCU, inspiring smart mortgage decisions.
In the WAC, we value sportsmanship on the field,
on the track, on the court, in the pool,
and in the stands.
We take pride in playing fair and being honest.
We honor the game by showing respect for our opponents,
The officials,
the fans, and our team.
Great sportsmanship is about keeping everything in perspective.
It's about taking ownership after a loss.
And being humble after a win.
We hope you'll team up with us by staying positive on the sidelines. Because great sportsmanship is what unites us.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
Make some noise! Let's do this. Hey. Come on. Creative, the world needs an answer. Give us the answer. Creativity is the answer. Never play on repeat. Put your own spin on things. Let a new wave begin.
All right, come on, let's go.
2 seconds.
Creators run the show. We want the answer. From the cage to the stage. Rise up from the streets to the pros.
So much.
Creativity is the answer to a world divided. Tear down those walls. Make worlds unite. Flip the script. Rewrite the rules. Creativity is the answer. Now over to you.
Who am I? And furthermore, what do I want? What makes you itch? That's the most important investigation anyone can make. But you don't find this out until you investigate it. So I always ask the question, what would you like to do if money were no object? How would you really enjoy spending your life? Because if you say that money is the most important thing, you will spend your life completely wasting your time. Forget the money. After all, if you do really like what you're doing, you can eventually become a master of it. And then you'll be able to get a good fee for whatever it is. Therefore, it's so important to consider this question. What do I desire?
The latest from KSL 5 News, including breaking news as it happens, and all your favorite KSL shows, ready to watch anytime. Download the free KSL app right now on all your favorite devices.
You only need to answer one question.
Will you accept the challenge to become?
It doesn't matter your situation in life.
No matter your interest.
Whether your first choice or second chance.
There's a place for you.
Place for you.
Place for you at UVU.
Place to engage,
to rise,
to succeed,
to become.
What's the difference between buying from Murdoch and buying from somebody else? In a word, confidence. You'll love our price match guarantee, our 5-day exchange policy,
and don't forget car washes and safety inspections for life.
If you need a new vehicle, consider Murdoch Hyundai. I promise you'll love it.
Welcome back to Clyde Field on the campus of Utah Valley University for today's matchup between the UC Irvine Anteaters from Southern California and the hometown Utah Valley Wolverines. Brandon Crow alongside Thomas Loomis. Thomas, we see 1-0 on the scoreboard. The first goal coming, and only goal coming from Andrew Olivia. 19th minute blast, and we were just talking how pretty that sequence was. And it's that, Utah Valley has had their fair share of those sequences in the past, but you can tell when a team is clicking on all cylinders by the way something finishes like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they've played tough competition all year long. Every single one of their preseason games has been a top 25 matchup. And so, as we said at the beginning of this game, I don't think that their record really shows how good they are. And so, when you allow a team to keep 90% of the possession, they're going to punish you. And they have the talent to where if they have any sort of space around the box and you give them any space to nutmeg you, he's going to cut it. And with a little bit of help from the wind, just absolutely blast that upper 90 near post. And so great look for Irvine Anteaters. Question is, can they provide more of those type of opportunities and chances for themselves? Because after that, there were maybe a couple more that tested Mitch Jensen, but not much more than that, even though they had 90% of the possession. On the other hand, UVU has got to keep the ball more, and if they don't, they're going to have a tough time getting back into this game.
Well, the start of the second half, game on. Anteaters and the Wolverines. Utah Valley in their home whites with the green trim, and they're going from right to left as we see it and as you see it. And the Anteaters from UC Irvine will be going from left to right as you see it and we see it as well. And some interesting personnel notes. Taking a look on the pitch, Utah Valley not going with the original starting 11, and Coach Moss electing to stick with the crew that had some late success in that second half with those substitutions starting this second half here.
Yeah, you said it as we kind of went into half. You wondered if Greg Moss would make some of those changes based on personnel, based on who they're playing, and who might be a better fit for the competition, or who might have the attitude to step up with a chance to prove themselves. And so Aiden Dayton comes on at the right back position. He played an absolute fantastic game and had an assist and goal in the last game. And so he offers, a lot of energy as a young freshman coming in. And then Pena, I loved the difference that he came in at that 10 position in the middle. So we'll see if they can both add a little help to what the Wolverines need this half.
Both teams with 2 shots on goal. Irvine's shot went in. Utah Valley only has 1 corner kick to UC Irvine's 2 corners. And it's been a very meticulous game as far as the tactics and passing and possession go. Irvine came right out of the gate strong in the first half and dominated possession. Then Utah Valley slowly chipped away and was able to earn themselves a little bit more possession courtesy of the substitutions and players you were saying, Thomas. And there's even a newer face that we see out there on the pitch, and Aiden Dayton on the left-hand side. But nevertheless, some things never change, just like this Anteater offense. And this one will go out of play and be a throw-in for the Wolverines. Gomez staying within Anteater possession. Dayton comes up to chip this one back toward the Irvine side of the pitch. And it's good to see Master Antonio back into it. And as we see his right quad bandaged up. There's penetration now by the Anteaters in the box. A huge chunk of turf comes up as well. Peniston John wins that one away. Good clearance by that solid defense after that penetration by Christian Gutierrez.
Yeah, scary moment for the Wolverines. Really good ball in behind. And really good tackle by Peniston John. Able to get his left foot and clear that one away. Or else if that touch gets around, that might be the second opportunity on frame that the Anteaters wanted.
Here come the Anteaters again on the attack. Great move to stay inside the box. Eddie Bruman. This one toe poked away by Utah Valley. It'd be a corner kick for the Anteaters.
Really crafty play there by UC Irvine. Jaden Wagner gets beat. Recovers well enough, though, to make that sliding tackle. And Irvine gains a corner.
Quesada receives it. More touch passing. Quesada blasts this one off of his own teammate. Looked like that one went off of the back of Roberto Molina. And Mitch Jensen will clearly oblige and say thank you as he gets a goal kick.
There aren't a lot of plays in soccer. So much of the game is adjusting and taking what the other team is giving you as far as, you know, space and the places that you need to play it on set piece opportunities, corners, and any dead ball fouls. Those are the moments where you can have those plays. They played that short corner in the first half, and it was super, super dangerous and gave them a shot on goal. So they elect to do that again, but didn't connect as they probably would have liked to and have practiced that time and time again at practice.
Wagner all alone on the near side calling for the ball. Still calling for it. Longmire's going to punch it his way. And Wagner has it. Goes back to Peniston John. Peniston John now to Longmire again. Dayton swings this one upfield. Fuchs corrals it down. And he falls down. And this one kicked out of play. Souvenir for at least 2 seconds for somebody in the crowd. James Pena with it for Utah Valley. Another switch of the field. Not enough pace on it. UC Irvine again intercepts Molina. Gomez. Now to Bruman. Bruman slides this one toward the left side of that box. The very top, taken away by Dayton. Now Moss puts some pace on it. Ford Parker comes all the way across to make the catch on the run.
It's a decent idea there to try and find Zaire Vasquez on the far side. He had the space, but just not hit diagonal enough into that corner, still in the box, so the goalkeeper can come grab it.
UC Irvine again trying to penetrate towards that end line. Still inside the box. This one kicked and saved by Mitch Jensen. Didn't look as dangerous, but then the ball was still alive. Jensen made the point-blank save to keep it a one-goal game.
Yeah, really, really fortunate for the Wolverines. That's not in the back of the net. Again, they are so good at getting around the corner and cutting it back. And that presents a super difficult time as a defender when you're facing your own goal. As rule, that's never in a position you want to be as a defender. As we watch the replay here, it gets cut back, tapped on, and almost finished, but great reaction save by Mitch Jensen, able to save that on the line and keep the Wolverines in this.
Sure, the coaching staff for UC Irvine is lobbying momentarily for that VAR. And we're going to whistle blown, and this one's going to go against Utah Valley as both players stumble and fall forward.
Yeah, that's one of those difficult ones that could go either way, and you saw it was a later call. He was trying to decide if he was going to make the decision or not. You see that swim move a lot in this game to where you're just trying to get past the defender as he's shielding you between the ball, and that could have been a scary chance against the Anteaters, but called against the Wolverines.
Again, more pace and pressure from that left-hand attack by the Anteaters. This one kicked away again by Utah Valley. Caleb White will do it. Orozco to throw it in. And like we mentioned earlier in that first half, Anteaters like to play with quickness and with pace, almost like in football, like the hurry-up offense.
Yeah, exactly. They never give you a time to rest, catch your breath at all. They're so good on the ball, and they love that tiki-taka soccer where they're going to keep it on the ground and move it very, very quickly and move it around you the way they want to.
Moss. Moss again takes this one away for Utah Valley. And a little aggression and frustration after the whistle is blown.
Yeah, again, another call that maybe could have gone either way. I don't think it was that bad of a play by the defender. Nice and physical, but Moss keeps him off him and draws the foul nonetheless.
Now a free kick for Utah Valley in the 55th minute. Still have yet to create a shot on goal offensively, the Wolverines have. There's a left boot swinger toward the top of the box, headed up in the air. Still Utah Valley possession. Dayton's pass gets tipped away, and the Anteaters again, they're like gnats that just won't go away.
Well, that line was super, super high on the set piece. I was surprised at how high they were sitting. If Jaden has a little bit more power, he knocks that in behind, that could be very dangerous. But good defensive play, and just as you said, they get the ball on the ground. Wolverines look to then attack, and they're in great position to poke that wide and disallow any type of chance going forward.
Good ball movement this time by Utah Valley. A whistle is called in favor of the Wolverines, and they're going to get a free kick, this time on the right side of the pitch.
Good decision by the referee. Nice flick there by the outside wing. Really quick play that we haven't seen enough of, and draws the foul as they're a little bit late on the tackle.
In the 56th minute, Utah Valley searching for an equalizer. Could this be the opportunity? Moss surveys. Moss sends this one in toward the box. Headed back out of play by the Anteaters. Longmire all alone in that center circle. Now to the near post and Wagner. Wagner chips it up. Felix keeps it in play. But for every one Utah Valley white shirt, there's about 4 Anteater blue and gray shirts around him. Utah Valley right now just cannot create their own space as Felix is getting a talking to.
Jaden Wagner at the left back position, he's really good on the attack, actually, and so I love those combinations play, playing into Alec and try to get it back, and the Wolverines need their outside backs to get involved in this game. They can't sit back anymore, or else this will finish 1-0. So they need to get involved in that attack, support their outside wings so that they can add numbers going forward, try and get balls into the box, or have cut-in opportunities to take shots on frame.
Peniston John heads this one back, but again, UC Irvine there. Gomez. Now to Boateng. Gomez again. Now to the near side. Anteaters sizing an opportunity up. Becerra Gomez. Molina gets upended. Referee blows the whistle. Guilty party, Utah Valley. Jaden Wagner in a very, very dangerous position for the Irvine Anteaters to find their second goal.
Yeah, you gotta love how patient they are. He has that cut, and he looks to hit it with his left foot and curl it back post. Yet holds it off. Nice patient opportunity to just knock the ball around and wait for the space to open up or wait for the run to get in behind and split the defense. Draws a foul, and this is, just like you said, very dangerous. He's going to curl this back post. Look for it to be just over Alec Felix's head to the back post. Very dangerous.
Gutierrez sends this one in way past that back post. Too much mustard on that hot dog. Quesada trying to corral it and send it back in toward the box with some sort of threat. Quesada dancing around with it, slides it on the ground right to Mitch Jensen.
Really fancy footwork as he's able to cut it, knock the ball in on his right foot to the near post, but no one there. Really, really good cross opportunity, but no one there to collect the tap in for the Anteaters.
And here's a clever run by Utah Valley to penetrate. Vasquez outside the box. Vasquez with the footwork. Vasquez still with it now. Trying to chip it into Moss. Not enough pace. Now quickly, the Anteaters come right back with the counter. Here's the near side, Molina. He has options. Baruman to his right. Instead he elects to go back. Becerra Gomez. Gomez again to Molina as we approach the hour mark, 60th minute. 30 more minutes left to play in regulation. Utah Valley desperately trying to find an equalizer. Try to come away with some points in this match. Switch to the field. Wagner for the Wolverines to Vasquez. Peniston John switches it up. Longmire. White sends this one into the box. Ford Parker scoops it up and quickly gets it right back into play.
Just absolutely needless by White there. Finally the Wolverines moving the ball side to side, connects some passes, and he just doesn't have the composure to just try and knock it short again. Needless pass over the top. Another giveaway back to the Irvine Anteaters, and they're in on the attack again.
Utah Valley still keeps it alive. Trip from behind. Whistle is called. Free kick awarded to the Wolverines. Guilty party there. Jose Ortiz. '62nd minute. Again, thank you for letting us be a part of your evening here on the WAC Digital Network. Brandon Crow alongside Thomas Loomis. Irvine looking very disciplined, very composed, very poised as they are on the attack yet again. Another nutmeg this time. Sent it toward the box. This one hit right off of Longmire's chest. Alvaro Quesada showing off his skill.
Yeah, the one-touch wall pass plays, it's done so well by these guys as a guy checks to the ball, lays it off, spins around his player. It opens up so much space to run straight at the goal and then develops the nice cross back in and shot on frame. Another deserving corner for the Anteaters.
Looks like Quesada will kick it from the corner. Fourth corner kick for the Anteaters. 3 times as many than Utah Valley. Quesada swings this one in right at Mitch Jensen. Mitch Jensen quickly gets it out there on the right-hand side, trying to find a counterattack. Boateng there to kick it out of play.
Good idea. I like those explosive, moments in the game. We haven't seen enough of it from the Wolverines. Try and get a counterattack, but just a little bit much on the throw. Boateng able to get there. Nice slide tackle to cut off the counter.
Wagner Felix. Peniston John. Now Dayton. Moss for Utah Valley. Wagner again calling for it, all alone in the near side territory. Dayton again will throw it in. Kicked out of play. As we see McKay Eves set to check in again for Utah Valley. And Eves will come onto the pitch for Caleb White in the 65th minute.
McKay Eves, a player that's recent off an LDS mission, trying to find his feet and get back into shape. Talented player that's been on the youth national team growing up. So we'll see if he can find his feet and get some nice touches to help the Wolverines out. Unlucky as that one goes out of bounds.
Looks like we're going to see Blake Frischnecht, who's warming up his legs. Aaron Meyer as well, being set to come check back in for the Wolverines. 65th minute. Utah Valley still trailing the Anteaters of UC Irvine 1-0.
These are two difference makers. If Frischnecht and Meyer can come in and get a lot more touches on the ball than they did first half, you've seen a little bit better of a rhythm, I think, from the Wolverines this half. If these guys can get the ball and be effective, that could be the difference maker in this game to allow the Wolverines to get back in it. They've got to be effective, though, because first half they just weren't. You know, they weren't the same players that you see from them a lot of the time.
Utah Valley's defense now stepping it up, disrupting the flow for the Irvine Anteaters. Zach Moss with it, son of Greg Moss. Center circle. Good ball movement by the Wolverines, some of the best we've seen so far this half. Can they stay composed? There's Leo Fuchs. Pena swings this one in toward that back post. There's Felix with the header right at Fort Parker.
Good idea there. I like the cross from Pena back post. Alec Felix in really good position, but and then doing on that, not really testing the goalkeeper as it falls right to his hands. Alec Felix wants that one back, so he can place that a little bit more back post. Ford Parker's been absolutely solid. You know, not too many really dangerous chances, but everything that's come his way has been easy for him to clean up and solid as he's kept it in his hands.
And that's the only Utah Valley's third shot on goal registered. Now they're tied with shots on goal overall for UC Irvine. So 3 apiece. The only difference really, Irvine put one of those goals in the back of the net. A beautiful through ball. Irvine in the box, bouncing all around, chipped away and out of play. The corner kick for the Anteaters. Again, that speed and quickness. Roberto Molina with the closing speed.
You've seen a few of those moments this half, and those have been where the opportunities come from. They play wide, and then their 10 to their 9 makes a run across the back line, through a ball in behind, and there's just been both times the defenders have to come in, make a slide tackle to save that off the line or from a shot. And scary moments. They've got to do a better job of communicating and sliding so that they arrive in time that through ball cannot be made, or else they're gonna get punished for it.
And again, UC Irvine's coach very disappointed that one was not played in toward the boxes. That one sailed well outside the 18. Now Blake Frischnecht, Aaron Meyer checking in for Utah Valley. Coming off is Pena and Leo Fuchs taking a rest. Checking into the match for the Anteaters, Oscar Cervantes. Coming off the pitch for the Anteaters, Jose Ortiz, Carlos Becerra Gomez. We'll see how Frischknecht and Meyer can provide some sort of difference, because like you said, in those first few minutes of the match, Frischknecht and Meyer did not look like their explosive normal selves. But here's UC Irvine now, sending this one toward that back post. Solid defense there by Dayton, keeping his ground and his composure. Takes that one away from the Anteaters. Now here's Eves to Dayton. Dayton goes down, whistle is called. Dayton wants to get started quickly. '68th minute.
Yeah, you got to appreciate Aiden's energy, because you don't see it as much from the other players. They're down a goal. There's 20 minutes. There's got to be a little bit more energy from the Wolverines, or else they're going to run out of time to have any type of chances to find an equalizer.
I think the word that we used in the first half was urgency.
Yeah.
And you don't see urgency from Utah Valley right now.
No, not enough of it. You see spurts, you see moments, but it definitely needs to be raised.
Even though UC Irvine has one goal, you see more urgency from them.
Yeah, definitely, because you can see it from the coach. He demands it. He demands these guys to play quick. He demands them to play with urgency, and it then creates opportunities, but he wants more, and so he wants more urgency so that they can create more of these opportunities and shots on frame, because they're tied with the Wolverines, surprisingly, with 3, even though they've had most of the possession.
See, Frischknecht was turning up the speed right there, trying to get to that ball, just barely missed it for Utah Valley. Longmire to Eves. Now to Dayton. '71st minute. Another 2 players set to come in for Greg Moss's crew. Garza, Vargas. That one kept alive on the far side by Vasquez. And then here's Gutierrez now for UC Irvine. Gutierrez penetrates. Gutierrez, fancy footwork. Team defense, however, comes up big.
Great tackle there by Longmire. That's so difficult when you're having to backpedal, player running at you in the box. Any type of cut, that's probably going to present a shot on goal. And his long legs able to get a poke on that and trip up the player, Gutierrez, from finding a shot on frame.
72nd minute, still 1-0. Irvine on top of the Wolverines. UC Irvine sends this one in toward the box, kicked away by Utah Valley. Frischknecht, he's behind the defense. Boateng coming over. Here's Blake Frischknecht. Blake Frischknecht goes to his left, in the box. Blake Frischknecht finds the equalizer for Utah Valley. The difference maker has shown his mark in the 72nd minute.
That's the type of explosive player that we've talked about that Frischknecht can provide. As that ball comes over the top, he bodies up nicely, flies over the top, takes Boateng one-on-one. He is so good in those moments to cut you up. His explosive, deceptive speed flies to the left and places that perfectly side netting back post. Well done by Blake Frischknecht. In an unbelievable way, we're tied when, watching this first half would have never guessed that this was even going to happen.
But it seemed like all the momentum and all the shots and everything has been going in favor of UC Irvine. Utah Valley finds the lull and strikes Blake Frischknecht moments after coming onto the pitch. The difference maker showing his mark and showing why he's so valuable. 1v2 slots it through.
Here's the play, bounces over the top, buddies up nicely. You see as he slows down, lulls him, and then makes his scissor move, cuts it, and perfectly places it back post side netting. Great shot and exactly what the Wolverines needed.
The assist credited to Luis Vargas. And UC Irvine and Utah Valley find themselves in a brand new ball game. 73rd minute. Strap on your seatbelts, folks. We got ourselves a wild, white-knuckled ride in the last 15 minutes. Frischknecht again with it. Frischknecht with more swagger and confidence. Switches the field, goes to Aiden Dayton on the right-hand side now. A little too high for Frischknecht. Instead, he finds it again. Dispossessed, however, by the Irvine Anteaters.
Yeah, that one caught him a little off guard as he was coming back into position. Aiden tries to play that across field, and I don't think he was quite had his feet set to be able to take on the player there. You see the energy's risen already. You know, tie game now with a little over 8 or a little under 18 minutes, I should say, left in this match. You're going to see more high pressure from Irvine as they're forced to try and win the ball back quickly. But needless giveaways there, and coach for Irvine very, very frustrated with this team in the last few minutes.
It's almost like a boxing match where Utah Valley was playing the rope-a-dope game for a while. They came out swinging and connected with Irvine. Irvine right now trying to collect themselves and figure out what to do next.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when you find these lulls in the game and all of a sudden a chance, you know, comes and you take advantage of it, it completely can change the game, even if one has had possession or most of the opportunities in a game. The game can totally change in a flip of a switch. So
here's another opportunity for Utah Valley. Clever run. Here's Frischknecht, the goal maker. Lays this one off for his teammates. Utah Valley still has it. Luis Garza. Calling in the cavalry now. McKay Eves switching it up to Aiden Dayton on the right-hand side. 74th minute. This one swung in. There's a bicycle attempt. Ball still bouncing around. It looked like Felix had an opportunity. Was deflected by that back line from UC Irvine.
You know, it was a lower cross from Aiden. I didn't think it was going to get him behind. Luis Vargas does an amazing job. Almost pulls a scissor kick. Deflects off of a player. Almost falls to Alec Felix's feet to where he's able to take a shot on frame. And Ford Parker, nice job anticipating, coming out and receive it. But Wolverines knocking on the door to try and take the lead.
Ever since that goal by Blake Frischknecht in the 72nd, the energy has been palpable here
Another
at Clyde
play
Field.
comes over the top. We watch as the replay again. Frischknecht on the goal. Fantastic scissor to throw. Boateng off balance to the inside, goes to the left. Nice finish, as we've said and seen before.
76th minute officially here at Clyde Field in Orem, Utah. Again, thank you for letting us be a part of your Monday evening here on the WAC Digital Network. Got a good one brewing in the final minutes of this match, final 15. UC Irvine trying to take back what was theirs for probably 85 to 90% of this match, being the lead, and Utah Valley trying to steal one at home. Some fresh legs now coming in for the Anteaters, checking into the pitch. Ricardo Ibarra coming off. Victor Falk. Eddie Berumen coming off as well. And rechecking back in is Becerra Gomez.
Yeah, you could tell that Yossi didn't want Gomez off for too long. He's such a great player in attacking against the defense. They go short again.
This one swung in toward that back post. Headed away by Longmire. And there's Frischknecht dancing with it. Longmire again, showing off some skill. Here are some olays from the crowd. '77th minute. Temperature has dropped just a little bit, but that energy has definitely picked up and risen on the pitch as we see both players colliding outside that center circle. Aaron Meyer. It looks like Cervantes as well. Referee blows the whistle. Clock continues to roll. And Boateng will get it back started. Utah Valley, after getting that goal back, getting that confidence back, does not want to have a letdown to bring the Anteaters back into the match. And here's, again, UCI penetrating, showing off some fancy footwork into the box. Good, strong tackle taken away by Utah Valley. But they got to be Very careful. Dangerous physicality outside that box. Don't want to give away a close free kick here. 78th minute. Swung in. Jensen scoops it up.
It's good thought. Outswinging ball. Trying to pull that away from Mitch Jensen. Great anticipation saves. He comes off and cuts that out from going back post.
Jensen with a boomer. Trying to find Garza in full sprint. This one just barely gets by Meyer as he was coming in for backup. Aiden Dayton now. Jensen again. Looking for that outlet. This one played back to Parker. Parker takes up some turf, and that one goes out of play. Utah Valley will gladly take that throw in front of the Irvine bench. 79th minute. And it looks like, again, Luca Masratano on that clearance. Might have turfed his foot a little bit, injured that already tweaked right knee. McKay Eves checks back in for Utah Valley. Mastrantonio, the redshirt junior from Rome, Italy, and the product of Rockhurst University in Missouri. Gingerly walks off as he's being helped by the trainer off the pitch. And coming into the match for him, Drew Boyd, the graduate from my hometown of Santa Clarita, California. And there's a shot by Aaron Meyer, taking all sorts of clever hops, chested by Ford Parker. Ford Parker did not expect that to come up like that did.
No, neither did I. I don't think anyone did, because as that took a, back spinning deflection in, it looked like it's just going to fall nicely into his hands. And that took an odd bounce right at the 6. Good reaction to be able to keep that in his hands. But yeah, it was definitely an interesting bounce. Scary moment for the Anteaters.
80th minute. 10 minutes left to play in regulation. Utah Valley has had their fair share of overtime matches so far this season. But I can tell you, they probably do not want to do another one right here. They want to come out victorious in the full 90. Trying to find that second goal to separate the two squads. Seamus McLaughlin checks in along with Beto Alvarenga for the Irvine Anteaters. Checking off is Christian Gutierrez as well as Michael Orozco.
Winds picked up the last minute or so.
Temperature has dropped as well.
If the Wolverines can get forward, this could be an advantage, from shots on frame. Adds a little pace. You can hit it from distance, test the goalkeeper a little bit more.
Speaking of shots testing keepers, that one played on the ground right at Mitch Jensen between the legs of diving Utah Valley defenders. He kept his composure. Frischnecht trying to get around. Referee, no call. Drew Boyd.
Yeah, really surprising that that's a no call. I mean, you watch as both of them body up, but definitely, I think, arms wrapped around Frischnecht. Wolverines very fortunate that they did not have a goal scored on them. That shot wasn't a little bit wider than the outstretched hands of Mitch Jensen.
Utah Valley coaching coming over to the side referees as we see Blake Frischnecht's disapproval with UC Irvine falling all over, and now Garza is going to earn himself a booking. Garza in the 82nd minute. After some gamesmanship by UC Irvine, kicking the ball around. So now this is a moment where Utah Valley cannot lapse and cannot let the Irvine Anteaters sneak the second goal in here. Garza. And nobody there. Jensen takes this one with ease. Jensen with a boomer.
But absolutely no one there. He definitely wants that one back. Frischnick wanted it early. This right outside back wasn't in position. He's asking for it on that left-hand side. Mitch Jensen didn't have the vision to see him. And I honestly don't understand taking your time. You're at home with 8 minutes left. The game's tied 1-1. You've got to have some urgency, as we've talked about, and probably look for those quick moments to go forward.
Luis Vargas gets a booking on the other side of the pitch. 83rd minute. Things getting a little chippy out there. Both teams trying to have cool heads. Interesting to note on that last goal kick there by Mitch Jensen. With that wind, it was only a two-hopper. A little dangerous for Ford Parker if he wasn't paying attention. UC Irvine, Becerra Gomez, now the left-hand side of the pitch. Clever footwork as Aiden Dayton gets beat. Good anticipation slide tackle. Irvine sets this one up toward the top of the box. Deflected in the air, Jensen keeps it. That one was put on a tee. An absolute rocket deflected straight in the air. That would have been a lot to handle for Mitch Jensen if that was on frame.
Yeah, that would have been really, really tough to handle. Good job by the Wolverines getting their foot there in the way. And good hands by Mitch Jensen, able to find that.
Vargas trying to take that one on the volley. Now Blake Frischnick takes it on the volley. And this one's well out of play for Utah Valley. 84th minute.
Pretty ambitious there by Blake Frischnick. He is known to find those type of shots, though. And with the wind, why not? When you've got a few minutes left, he just needs to put that one a little bit more on frame.
Again, UC Irvine numbers sprinting forward. Miscommunication for a moment there by Utah Valley's back line. Now Longmire punches this one upfield. Out of play. Quickly thrown back in by the Anteaters. Utah Valley getting thrown off their game at the moment. UC Irvine gives them a break. Free kick for the Wolverines just outside the south side of the center circle. '85th minute. Little less than 5 minutes to play in regulation again. All tied up at ones. Irvine striking in the 19th. Utah Valley's Blake Frischnick with the equalizer in the 72nd. This one toward the top of the box. Frischnick with the header, trying to find that back post corner. Didn't miss by much.
No, not too bad of a look there. It's going to be tough from outside the 18 to put enough power on that to really test Ford Parker, but good look nonetheless.
Eder Oliva checks off for the Anteaters. Manny Acosta checks on. Some fresh legs. Frischnick and Boateng play cat and mouse. This one up the field now for the Irvine Anteaters. 86th minute. There's a dummy there by Acosta who thought somebody was home. Jensen punches this one toward the crowd. Goes out of play. It'd be a throw in on the far side for the Anteaters of UC Irvine. Good ball movement towards that backside. Boateng. Now Boyd. Boyd up the pitch. Looking for Ibarra. Solid defending by Utah Valley. This one last touch by Ibarra. It will be a throw-in for the Wolverines. Orozco still with it. Now kicked away by Peniston John, looking for Blake Frischnecht, who gets an elbow toward the back. And they're going to call a free kick now for Utah Valley. Aiden Dayton. This one swinging toward the 6, right at Parker. Blake Frischnecht looking a little bit winded as he's taking his time. Doing all he can offensively, trying to put himself in position for the winner for Utah Valley. A little over 2 minutes left in regulation. Good slide tackle taken away by Utah Valley. Boateng. Now Utah Valley has some numbers. This one got away from Aaron Meyer. Frischnecht was on. Now it's Garza. And taken away from behind is Felix. And again, the urgency is now in favor of the Anteaters.
Yeah, back and forth giveaways. There's 2 chances there at the Wolverines. If they can do a better job of keeping the ball.
Somehow Gomez still has it right at Jensen. Jensen coming up with the clutch save. And Aiden Dayton going up and giving him 2 hands on the back.
Huge save as Carlos Becerra Gomez almost has another shot on, or another goal, I should say, which would have came in clutch moments for the Anteaters. Nice cuts there as defenders flying in on him. Again, they win the ball and are on the attack. They're going to try and find that game winner here in the last couple of minutes.
Miscommunication by the Anteaters, however. Now here comes Utah Valley sprinting. Garza has numbers, going to look to switch up the field. Does with the curler, a little bit too far, and not the ball that he wanted. The intended target, Luis Vargas.
Yeah, you see Aaron Meyer hands in his face as that pass by Garza. It's got to lead Luis Vargas. It's got to play him forward so that they can keep that momentum going forward. Any type of pass like that behind him and now runs out of bounds, it just slows down the entire game, slows down any attack and chance that you're going to have going forward.
89th minute, final minute left here in regulation. Can the Wolverines find the winner? Blake Frischnecht heads this one down. Vargas just barely misses this one. Wagner trying to get this ball back in play. Felix. Meyer. Send this one in toward the box. Still bouncing around. Eves. Goes to his left. Lays it off for Wagner. Teammates calling for it in the box. Send this one in toward that back post. Utah Valley calling for a corner. They say it was tipped. Referee on the far side says no. It would be a goal kick for Ford Parker.
That was a scary moment by the Anteaters. If there's anyone back post for the Wolverines, I think that's headed back across. Ford Parker really taking his chances and going for that ball, but not even close to it. Fortunately, no one's there. This will take us into overtime.
End of regulation, 1-1. Utah Valley Anteaters tied up. Hey, why not? Monday Night Football, a little extra. Some free football. We'll take a quick break. We'll reset as we gear up for extra time here in Orem, Utah.
am I? And furthermore, what do I want? What makes you itch? That's the most important investigation anyone can make. But you don't find this out until you investigate it. So I always ask the question, what would you like to do if money were no object? How would you really enjoy spending your life? Because if you say that money is the most important thing, you will spend your life completely wasting your time. Forget the money. After all, if you do really like what you're doing, you can eventually become a master of it. And then you'll be able to get a good fee for whatever it is. Therefore, it's so important to consider this question. What do I desire?
If we can see things for what they are, if we can see what they could be, if the plastic we use, we never throw away, if the end of one thing could be the beginning of the next. If we know that less can create more. If we can return, we reciprocate, we regenerate. If we are here for others, if we can work as a team, all we have to do is connect, and the world opens up. The future is about giving back.
Hey, you gonna do this or what? You gotta do it. And keep doing it. Do it big. Bigger. Step it up. Always take the risk. Don't just watch it. Put your phone down and do it. Drip splash like the ice on the wrist. That's a call I can't miss. Set my goals like a goal. Hit the switch. Work. Check it off the checklist. In a position to win. In a position to go. In a position to win. Do it with one hand behind your back.
1-9.
Do it blindfolded.
Next.
Do it your endorsement deal. Say you shouldn't.
Section 43C, no rope swing over canyon dunks.
Like what's happening? Do what they say you can't.
Can you?
Because there are those who don't and those who do. Yes, sir. Let's do.
The road to national championships runs through NCAA.com and the NCAA Sports app. And whether you follow one college team or all of them, it's never been easier to get the content you want all in one place. With live broadcasts of multiple championships across all divisions. With exclusive access.
Ready to go?
And highlights for every single championship. Stay in the game all season long with NCAA.com and the NCAA Sports app.
In the WAC, we value sportsmanship on the field,
On the track, on the court, in the pool.
and in the stands.
We take pride in playing fair and being honest.
We honor the game by showing respect for our opponents,
The officials,
the fans, and our team.
Great sportsmanship is about keeping everything in perspective.
It's about taking ownership after a loss.
And being humble after a win.
We hope you'll team up with us by staying positive on the sidelines. Because great sportsmanship is what unites us.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
Welcome to overtime. Extra time at Clyde Field in Orem, Utah. Brandon Crow alongside Thomas Loomis bringing you UC Irvine Anteaters and Utah Valley Wolverines. Extra time, all tied up 1-1 in regulation. Utah Valley, as we see it and as you see it, again going from left to right in their home green and white. And the visiting Anteaters going from right to left in the blue and grays. Utah Valley was down most of the game after a 19th minute strike from Oliva. And then Blake Frischneck, the difference maker, coming in the 72nd minute, putting on an absolute clinic of composure. Slices one through toward the backside. Ford Parker couldn't get to it, and that's how we are here. Golden goal, so anything can go. Brown, immediately as he kicked that, puts his hand up, and the other hand on his chest to say, my bad.
Yeah, it was a really good pass there by Mitch Jensen, and good distribution, which we haven't seen too much of, this game. He's needed to do a better job. Finds Mark Brown there, but bad giveaway. Opportunity to put that in the mix, and hits it right to Ford Parker.
Brown using his head. That one is right at his face. Alvaro Quesada tried to push it upfield, and Brown headed it straight down. Again, golden goal, so first goal wins. Utah Valley trying to do it very quickly. Leo Fuchs trying to maintain possession. Lays this one off. This one sent in. Chested down. Utah Valley still with it now toward that byline. They're going to call this a corner kick for Utah Valley. An early opportunity for the Wolverines. And you see Mr. Dangerous, Blake Frischnecht, in the middle of your TV screen, number 9 right there in the white jersey at the top of the box. In the half circle, jostling for position.
These moments are so dangerous in a goal-and-goal situation. It's one opportunity, game's over.
There's the in-swinger, headed away by Irvine. Kicked back straight up in the air by Utah Valley. Longmire heads it down. Utah Valley still with it, lays this one off. Longmire down toward the end line, keeps it in. Ford Parker with the save. Longmire with those long legs, keeping that one in play. All-out effort. Ford Parker read that one, however.
Yeah, actually ran out of bounds. A little bit too much. You wish Vargas, as he draws that player in, can then be composed and find the right weight on that pass. Could have been and should have been a better job done for a shot on frame.
Brown just briefly intercepted that. Frischnecht was calling for it. But now here come the Anteaters. This is probably the most urgency we've seen from Utah Valley in the whole match so far. A lot of tempo as bodies fly. Free kick now for the Anteaters.
Yeah, nice physical play. Mark Brown does come in a little late. Causes a foul. Well done by number 10, Jose Ortiz, to draw that foul. They elect to go short again and swing it across.
Right out of the gate here in overtime, it's been all Utah Valley. And just as UC Irvine gets it, Utah Valley takes it right back. Pena now to the right side. Now Felix. Pena the intended target again. Free kick again for Utah Valley in front of the students who've shown up. Again, this is game 1 of a doubleheader. Utah Valley women's soccer team taking on top-ranked BYU, nationally ranked, number 10 in the coaches' poll. Right after this, and the fans that have showed up, Utah Valley men trying to give them some excitement. Here's the ball sent in toward the box, right at Ford Parker. And they're going to call this one on the offensive side. This one's going to go against Longmire.
Yeah, they look so much alike alongside each other from a distance. It's tough to tell.
An errant pass by the Anteaters, who have only played one overtime match so far this season. A double overtime tie at Cal in Berkeley. Meanwhile, Utah Valley, this will be their 3rd overtime match on this season. See how the training with this elevation plays out. Utah Valley. Vargas looking for a target. Vargas momentarily taken down from behind, still has possession.
Yeah, these guys tied against Cal State Northridge, the same conference in the Big West as UC Irvine.
Brown too strong of a header. This one kicked out of play. Another corner.
And then a crazy game against Canisius last weekend, and came out with the win, found the goal in overtime as that went back and forth.
Pena flirting with that byline, gets taken down. And they're going to signal a free kick here.
Draws the foul. Good spot. This won't be a shot on frame. However, you're going to have every player crashing in. There's going to be a lot of chaos in front of Ford Parker.
Very dangerous situation. Utah Valley trying to find the winner at home. Can they do it? Is this the play right here? Wolverines setting themselves up in the box. Here's the chip toward that back post. Players come crashing in. Longmire, the intended target. And this one just off the top of his head.
Yeah, a little high, weighted just a little bit heavy there by Wagner. Irvine defense is just enough to throw him a little off balance. That had it out of bounds for a goal kick. If he would have let that go, I think John Peniston might have had an opportunity and was wishing that he had let that go, calling him off, looking for a header on frame.
The referee having a talk with Ford Parker as well as Boateng. Coach Greg Moss having a discussion, and Boateng still getting heated as he's trying to argue with the head referee, Brad Jensen. The longer they continue to talk, the more time continues to tick away. 97th minute in overtime. It's a long ball. Dead sprint for Acosta, who somehow gets to it. Nobody there to help him out, however. And Longmire dances with it, kicks it out of play. And it'll be a corner kick for Utah Valley.
Yeah, I'm not sure the thinking there by Longmire. I don't know why he's trying to dribble out of the back, thinking he's going to do something better than just move it upfield. In these overtime situations, you know, those type of decision-making is everything. This is going to give the Irvines a long throw or some players checking in. Spot they love to be in and around the box. Cut some players up and have some shots on frame.
Gutierrez with it for the Anteaters, trying to kick it off at Utah Valley. Brown keeping his composure, and another Anteater opportunity. 98th minute, danger time. Utah Valley had their opportunities. Now here's Irvine's. Irvine struck first in the 19th minute. Mitch Jensen directing traffic now for Utah Valley. Very similar to that last free kick for Utah Valley. All of Irvine's players going to be crashing hard. They're going to lay this one off for Gutierrez. Gutierrez goes down around the defender. This one kicked up and out of play by Utah Valley. Utah Valley trying to clear it out. Utah Valley gets around the defender. A whistle is called, a late whistle at that, in favor of UC Irvine.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Really unfortunate for the Wolverines, as they had maybe a 3v3 or 4v3 counterattack possibility there. This opens up a completely different situation with the wind against their backs. This will be a nice ball in, really challenging opportunity for the Wolverines.
Gutierrez and Orozco stand away from the ball. Gutierrez with his hand up. Gutierrez will run over it. Orozco will dummy and delay, trying to check and see what Utah Valley is going to do. Now Gutierrez comes in, and the wind takes this one away.
Yeah, didn't quite anticipate. You've seen that 3 or 4 different times on the set pieces by Irvine. Every corner has been long. Every set piece has been longer. They've overhit the ball every single time. They definitely want that one back.
#100th minute. Still tied up 1-1. Irvine and Utah Valley. Jensen delivers this one past the center circle. Gutierrez chests this one down. Gutierrez very shifty and crafty. Brown pushes it all the way back to Jensen. Jensen boots this one high in the air. This will land right in front of the UC Irvine bench. In fact, right on top of their bench.
Yeah, with that one hit back, it's difficult for Mitch Jensen to take, but with seconds on the clock for the first overtime, safe decision just to smack that out of bounds or do anything you can to get that out of the way. We've got one overtime left, and it's anybody's game at this point. It's completely shifted from a complete possession of Irvine, and now it's been pretty even on both sides.
The first half of that overtime period was all Utah Valley. Utah Valley's putting all the pressure, and then the gears, like the wind, shifted towards UC Irvine towards the latter stages there. And really, nothing more tactically you could be doing different.
No, with the wind at their back, they're not going to want to play through the air. It's going to sit up for the Wolverines at least. They need to play on the ground and keep connecting passes to the middle. When they've done a better job of that, that's when their opportunities have arisen. They've got to keep the ball better, no needless giveaways, play safe, and find the opportunity. Who's going to step up big again in this moment, like a Blake Frischnick in the second half, and Irvine as well. They need someone to step up because they have the ability to play so well around the box. If they have one through ball, it could be game over.
Greg Moss is calling on his whole team to huddle. UC Irvine huddling up as well. Strategy going down. 1-1 is the score. Again, if you're just now joining us, Utah Valley fell early on in this match. Eden Oliva goal in the 18th minute. And Irvine, it was all Irvine for about the first 95% of the match. Then Blake Frischnick comes in the 72nd minute, equalizes, the difference maker, calm and composed, 1v2 in the box. And then overtime, it's been pretty much even.
Yeah, not too many dangerous opportunities for either side. Irvine had one where they cut back on the byline. But other than that, not too many challenging moments for either goalkeeper. This is when endurance sets in, altitude. We'll see how Irvine hangs. They've looked good for the most part. Maybe, as time has gone on a little bit, the legs have gotten a little heavy, but they've looked pretty good in most moments of the match.
And this is what you train for. These
exactly.
are the moments, especially if you're Utah Valley, in this altitude, at home, a place where you like to protect and where you like to have confidence. These are the moments that you live for. All you need is one touch, one pass, that can seal it.
Yeah, exactly. And as the crowds rolled in for the next game, rivalry match between UVU and BYU, it raises the energy. You got to love the atmosphere. That in most games across the season, UVU is always ranked high in attendance, and so the energy and atmosphere is awesome. We'll see if that plays key in the last 10 minutes of this game.
An interesting note, if you can make of it what you will, Utah Valley, when they scored their goal, was heading toward the north goal, which they are right now. If you're superstitious at all, or even a little stitious, it can do wonders for Utah Valley, especially with that wind blowing in from the south. Utah Valley likes to play their game in the air, especially with big bodies like Blake Frischneck. And we'll see what happens. UC Irvine now headed back toward the pitch. Ford Parker making his way in between the posts.
I like the Michael Scott reference there. But no, there is no doubt that when you have the wind with you, it allows you to really take shots from a little bit farther out, add some pace and power to your shot. So I would expect the Wolverines to take some opportunities on frame that maybe they wouldn't if the wind wasn't with them.
Bartender, make me a double. Double overtime. Kicks off between UC Irvine and the Wolverines of Utah Valley. Again, UC Irvine, as you see it and we see it, going from left to right in their road blues and grays. Utah Valley trying to defend at home, going from right to left as you see it and we see it. The Vuvuzelas have now shown themselves, making their way all the way from South Africa in 2010. A lot of energy coming out in the first overtime period. And see if Utah Valley can parlay that energy here in the second. Pena trying to be a little bit too fancy. Some fresh legs here from UC Irvine. This one sent in on that right-hand side. Kicked out of play by Wagner. These are the moments where you got to be all in. You cannot be caught on your heels. If you're Utah Valley, UC Irvine very quick, and they will make you pay. As the corner kick is being set up by Irvine. Here's the in-swinger, and this one goes right into the back of the net. UC Irvine takes it in overtime. The winning goal, Victor Falk running around, being mobbed by his teammates, and just like that, Utah Valley falls 2-1 to the Anteaters.
Yeah, the captain coming up big. Great cross there. Rises up above everybody else and finishes that in the back of the net. Hard-fought match. You know, it was Irvine's way, you could say, the entire first half. As we watch the replay here, ball comes in, perfect on the 6-yard box. Mitch steps up, but too many bodies in front of him, can't even challenge and get a hand on it. Slotted and headed powerfully in the back of the net. Unfortunate for any Wolverine fan in a very, very hard-fought match. UC Irvine, you know, they've come up big now, and they moved to 2 wins on the season, much needed for them. And they're a very, very good team, as they have played every top 25 team in their first, few games. And it's a good game for the Wolverines moving into conference here soon.
So Utah Valley final score, they fall to the Anteaters of UC Irvine 2-1 in double overtime. For all of our hardworking staff and crew behind the scenes, for our video maestro, Ben Schroeder, for Thomas Loomis, I am Brandon Crow, saying so long and good night from Orem, Utah.